What are you missing? What are you missing? I know you're missing something, right? There's something that's missing. What is it? Do you know where it is? Do you know where to find it? Because let me tell you something, if you're in business or you've been investing in any length of time, you're new and you're just starting to do the research, then you will appreciate the incredible power of mindset. And you may be missing the one mindset or the few things that you need to know in order to create success. See, our mindset is the key factor that determines all our results. You can never ascend higher than your own self-image allows. If you have beliefs that limit you or hold you back, you need to discover what they are and overcome them if you want to get to the next level. So in this video, I'm going to show you the mindset secrets of the top expert investors so you can think rich and become successful. We are going to contrast how the poor think and how the wealthy think, and you may find out that you've been missing some of the keys to your success. So if you're ready to jump in and find out the coolest things you're going to hear today, let's go. All right, so check it out. Now, I'm going to use a couple words throughout this video. And I know that some of you're going to be like, I am offended by that word. Listen, if you're offended, you know what? Turn the video off and go cry to your mom or your dad or your Uncle Betty or maybe your Uncle Cletus. Because listen, I don't care if I'm going to offend you. I'm going to call it like it is. And I'm going to use the words poor and I'm going to use the words wealthy throughout this video. But let me explain the difference between the two. I'm not just talking about bank account balances and net worths, okay? I'm talking about mindset. See, when we talk about poor, I'm talking about people that have a poverty mindset, right? And when I talk about wealthy, I'm going to be talking about people that have a wealthy mindset. And here's what's actually kind of interesting. Your mindset truly does dictate what your bank account is going to say, okay? So while wealthy may seem like it alludes to a bank account balance, I'm telling you that you will never be wealthy in money if you cannot first get wealthy in mindset. But I'm also telling you that if you are poor in money, it's likely because you have a poor mindset. So when I say poor and I say poor people, I'm not trying to trigger you or make you feel bad or make you want to cry to mommy and daddy because he said poor and I'm not poor and we shouldn't talk about poor people, and that I'm talking about poor in mindset, which usually translates to maybe not as many monetary and material resources as you want. So now that we've got that out of the way, don't get offended. And then you know what? Look, if you do get offended, good. I think we live in a world where people are too afraid to be offended anymore. So if you're offended by the word poor, awesome, feel offended throughout. Go ahead and turn off this video and miss all of the amazing stuff coming your way because I'm going to contrast how poor people think. And I've got 5 things for you where I'm going to contrast very specifically the way poor look at the world and the way wealthy look at the world, and you get to determine where you are. Now, here's number 1. You ready? Poor people believe money is the root of all evil. Wealthy people believe poverty is the root of all evil. Now, let me tell you what I mean by this, okay? So I'm a very religious person, and in a Christian religious tradition, there's a scripture that talks about, I think it's Paul that talks about, the love of money being the root of all evil. And now here's what I want to make sure you understand. There's a lot of people that have that think that money is the root of evil, but it's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money, or it's the elevation of what money means above what it means to be human. That's where the evil comes from, okay? So in other words, if somebody if you go watch Dateline, right, and you see the people that are killing their spouses because they want life insurance because they have a drug habit or whatever, what you see is somebody who believes in the material aspect of money and what it represents for them. That becomes more important than the human that they're living with or that they're married to or whatever. That's where we perceive that, money is evil because they wanted money and therefore they did an evil thing. What I'm here to tell you is it's the greed that is evil that causes us to do things. But what wealthy people know is that that's not what evil is. The real root of evil is poverty. And what I mean by that is a poverty mindset. If you go back and you look at that Dateline NBC person, right? It's not the money that's making them evil. It's the desire, because they are poverty minded, because they are poor minded. They have this poverty mindset that says, I don't have enough. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need more money. And because they feel in a state of deficit, what ends up happening is they now take actions that are evil. See, poverty is the root of all evil, not money. Money can be a source for tremendous good. I have had an opportunity on a number of occasions to be at fundraisers for, some really incredible nonprofits like OUR, Operation Underground Railroad, that are literally saving people from slavery, modern day slavery. Now, the only way that happens is with money. So if you're going to tell me that money is evil, I'm going to tell you in equal measure or significantly more so that money provides more good than you could possibly realize. Have you ever been in a position where you truly are poor? You really do have poverty. You don't know what to do. What elevates you out of that situation is maybe a kind soul giving you food or maybe a little bit of money, but how you interact with and believe in that money will determine the actions that you take after the fact. See, money is not the root of all evil. Poverty is the root of all evil. And then how we interpret money as a result of that poverty may cause us to do things that we don't want to do. And that is a big difference between people that are poor and people that are wealthy. In fact, if you think that money is the root of all evil, if that's a true core belief for you, guess what you'll do? You'll do everything in your power to step away from money. Do you know people like this who hate rich people, who see a perceived rich person driving down the road in some sort of fancy car and they go, oh, that rich jerk or whatever? Let me tell you, that is a poverty mindset. And if you believe that that's who wealthy people are, you will not try to become wealthy. So that's the difference between the poor mindset and the wealthy mindset, okay? Now, that's point number one. Here's point number two. You ever known somebody that's like, ooh, I just want to win that lottery. Ooh, I got to go buy that ticket because I want to win that lottery. Well, what are we saying here? We're going, okay, I don't want to do any work. I just want to buy a ticket and then hopefully they call my number. And then who knows, maybe I'll have 5 Lamborghinis. It's so dumb. But that's what poor people do. They have a lottery mentality. One day it's going to work out. Now, a lottery mentality doesn't just mean the lottery. Here's the way a lottery mentality manifests in another way. Let's say you're at a job and you don't want to work harder to get a promotion or to make more money. You just want it to show up for you automatically. There was a book a few years back called The Secret that was really popular. And it told you that if you just have this, there's this law of attraction, which is a real thing, but it just made you feel like if you sit back and you just think about, ooh, I want the money to come to me. Ooh, I want the money to come to me, fall from the sky, that the money's just going to show up. That's a lottery mentality. That's saying, I don't want to have to do something to become wealthy. I just want to be wealthy. Well, listen, the people who don't want to do something to be wealthy, even if they get wealth, they will not keep the wealth, because wealthy people have an action mentality. Wealthy people go, I want to create more money in my life. What do I do? What books do I read? What masterminds do I join? What YouTube videos do I watch? Where do I go to begin to shift who I am so I can start to create actual wealth? How do I do something, not just wait and hope that it appears? So this lottery mentality that so many of us have, it literally diminishes our ability to create wealth because we are not willing to do what's required. We're simply willing to wait and hope that it shows up. Now, the third thing that I want to share with you is this. Poor people think the road to riches is paved with formal education. Wealthy people believe in acquiring specific knowledge. Now, here's what this means. There's a great book that I love called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you haven't read it, you should totally read it. There's the rich dad and the poor dad. The rich dad is somebody who's kind of an entrepreneur. He thinks like the wealthy. The poor dad, he has a good income. He makes a good living, but he doesn't have a lot of extra money. He doesn't have assets. He's in the rat race. He has to trade time for money. But poor dad thought that the road to riches was formal education. How do I go and get all of the degrees? How do I go and get as much education as possible? Do you know somebody like this? Is this you? Where you go, yeah, I want to increase my income, so I have to go get another degree. Do you know people like this that are perpetually going to college so that they can have all of the degrees and everything on the wall? Except, is that creating wealth, or is that just trading time for a little bit more money? See, and that's the real difference here. If you trade time for money, it makes it very difficult to become as wealthy as you want, because time is not an infinite resource, right? Time is finite. So if you're trading time for money, there's only a finite amount of time that you can trade for what will become a finite amount of money. However, if you can learn to leverage by acquiring a specific kind of knowledge, all of a sudden now you can generate wealth. Let me give you an example of how this works with real estate. If I think that the road to wealth and riches in real estate is to get all the education, then I am the learner who can't wait to learn more about learning so that I can learn one day to do real estate. and I'll buy all the courses and I'll read all the books and I'll go to all the seminars and I'll spend all of this money and I'll rack up credit card debt so that I can go get more education, because I know if I just get more education, I'm going to be wealthy. However, education does not do anything. Action is the thing that we've got to do, right? So we'll go and get all the education, but we don't take action. And what ends up happening is we believe that the road to riches is paved with formal education. Now, that could be the case in the world when it comes to degrees, but it can also be the case in real estate. If we just go and learn all the things, but we don't do any of the things, it's going to be very difficult to gain wealth. But wealthy people believe in acquiring specific knowledge. So if I want to go do real estate, pick one kind of real estate and learn as much as you can about that. Or maybe it's not even picking real estate. It's learning how money works and how money can be leveraged, and you acquire specific knowledge about how money works, and maybe real estate is a piece of that equation. It is acquiring specific knowledge instead of general knowledge. That could be the big difference for you. Now, before I give you the last couple points, I just want to take a moment and I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. This channel is all about showing you tips and tricks of how to get started, how to change your mindset, how to take steps towards what you're trying to accomplish. And we want you to win in real estate. We want you to make millions. We want you to get to that point. We want you to have a wealthy mindset and be a wealthy individual. So on this channel, we're sharing videos about how to replace your income, right? So you can retire early, how you can declare economic independence, how you can create generational wealth. And we want to help you know how to get started and where to find the kinds of deals that you need to find and the kind of real estate that you need to do. And so what we want for you is we just want you to like this channel. We want you to subscribe to the channel. We want you to be here so we can give you the tips for success, the tips for the right mindset, the right kind of real estate, and the tactical information that's going to make a difference for you and your loved ones so you can truly stack micro wins and maybe have millions one day. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend or family member. Okay, it means a lot to us. It really helps us, and it means that we get to hang out more and share more amazing content with you. So we've gone over the three things of how maybe the wealthy think versus how the poor think. Now I'm going to share with you the last couple things. Okay, poor people focus on working to save. Wealthy people focus on earning to invest. Now, here's the difference. If we think formal education is how we pave a path to riches, we'll go get a degree so that we can get a good job, and we'll hope really hard that we get a promotion and we can make a little bit more money so we can trade our finite time for a little bit more money, right? That's what we want to do. And then what we'll do is we'll say, I got to save this money. And if I can save this money and if I can build a nest egg and I can put it somewhere where it's going to be able to hopefully grow for me, then maybe one day I can retire. And so we focus on working to have more money to save. You know how this shows up, right? It's like, okay, I know I need to save more. Okay, I need to save more money. All right. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go get a second job, and if I get a second job, then I can save more. Or I just have to work really hard at work, and maybe they'll give me a promotion. If I get a promotion, I can make more money. Then I can save more. Wealthy people focus on earning more to invest, not just to save. Now, here's the difference. If I go and I work hard to earn more money to just set in a bank account, right? We've talked about it before, but idle money loses you money. It doesn't make you money, right? So if I just put more money in a 401k or I just put more money into a savings account, it's not really going to grow for me in the way that I hope that it will. However, if I earn a little bit more money so that I can invest, that's different. Now, if you're saving to invest, if you're earning to invest, not just saving for the sake of saving, now you go, okay, if I work for that promotion, if I work a little bit harder, if I make a little bit more money, if I cut back on my expenses, then it shortens the distance between where I am and my next investment property. See, wealthy people focus on earning to invest. Poor people focus on working to save, okay? Now, here's the fifth thing that I want to share with you. This, honestly, is so critical. You guys, poor people think gratitude comes after things get better. But wealthy people know that things only get better when you have gratitude during difficult things. Now, let me say that again, okay? Poor people think gratitude comes after things get better, right? Poor people don't have a mindset in the middle of the storm of, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for all of what's going on around me. Instead, they go, I just can't wait for this storm to pass and then maybe there's a rainbow. But wealthy people, whether it's the storm of life, whether it's a financial storm, wealthy people in the middle of the storm are thankful for what's currently there. Let me give you a very real example of this. So without giving you all of the details, because you don't really care about them, there was a time in my life when I took a little bit of a hiatus from this company. I'd stepped away to write a book on gratitude. And while I'd stepped away, I kind of sold whatever we had in real estate and others, and I forewent any income. I kept my ownership in the company, but I wasn't really making any money, and we invested all of this money to go and get a book done that we felt like was going to really change the world, which is my book called Flip the Gratitude Switch. And after a couple years of doing that, we launched the book, and the book was successful, but it didn't like replace my income, right? And I did not want to go back to this company. I didn't want to go back to the real estate company because I'd kind of taken a stand and said, I need to go and do this book, right? I won't let you in on all the details of kind of why we had partners at the time that I wasn't really agreeing with. It's a totally different world today. But I found myself really with nothing left but a book on gratitude and having no clear path of how to pull out of the tailspin that I was in financially. So I had to go and just put food on the table. So I went and I got a job at the Container Store, and I was working for $13 an hour, waking up at 3 a.m. to get to the store at 5 so that I could huck freight, right? So that I could unload trucks. And over time, they really liked me and my attitude and thought that I was a generally nice man. And so they started to give me more shifts, and I started to be able to trade a little bit more time for a little bit more money. And pretty soon I started to be able to work much longer shifts, and I was able to close the store. Well, when you would go and be an employee that was closing the store, one of the things that we would do is we'd clean the bathrooms. If you ever worked retail, you know you got to clean the bathrooms. And when I was in there cleaning those bathrooms, I'd be scrubbing the toilet, and I had this opinion that it was going to be the cleanest toilet anybody had ever seen. If I was cleaning the sink, I wasn't just cleaning the sink to go through the motions. I wanted to make sure every single water spot was gone and that sink shined and glimmered. I wanted the mirror to have no streaks. I wanted that bathroom to sparkle. And as I washed those sinks and those mirrors and cleaned those toilets, I was filled with gratitude for the opportunity to clean a toilet to trade time for money. And that changed me as a person. See, if I wanted to say, oh, the book didn't work out, the company wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, I didn't agree with my partners, I just need to wait for it to get better and then maybe I'll make more money. Instead, I said, no, what if I could just be thankful in the scenario that I'm in right now? What if I could just be thankful for what's happening right now? And as I was thankful for what was happening right now, it changed me fundamentally as a human. It changed my ability to earn. And what ended up happening is because of who I was, because I had gratitude in my situation, the Container Store wanted to give me promotion and promotion and promotion. And after about a year, my business partner, Steve, who you've seen on these videos, who you hear on the podcast, came to me and he said, Kev, I have watched you for the last couple years and you've totally changed your life. You are a different human today than you were when you left the company. What if we buy out the partners that we don't agree with anymore? What if we redo this company? What if we start over? What if we take all of this success and all of the things that we've done for our clients, but we put it in a better package and we do it better than we've ever done it before? We fuel it with gratitude, understanding that there's something here that is special, and that's exactly what we did. In 2017, we rebranded the company, we bought out the partners, we started over, and we just came off our most profitable year in all of company history. Why? Because when you decide to be thankful for the situation that you're given, instead of just waiting for the gratitude to come or waiting for things to get better so you can be thankful, it changes who you are. When it comes to investing, if you have a bad investment, if a tenant doesn't pay, if something goes on and you're feeling really frustrated, if you could be thankful for the scenario that you're in, it changes how you interact with that scenario. It changes who you are, and that then changes your results. See, poor people think gratitude comes after things get better, but wealthy people know that things only get better when you use and exercise gratitude even when things are difficult. Just that last point, you guys, will literally change the fabric of your life if you will just do that. But that brings us to the conclusion here, where I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and I want to encourage you to do something. I want to encourage you to go to dfy-realestate.com, because I think you're probably tired of getting poor returns on investments. I think you're probably tired of dealing with all of the stuff around you and not really knowing what the next step is. Well, listen, that's what we're here for. We're here to ease that burden. We're here to teach you the mindset like we did today. We're here to help you generate gratitude in the scenario that you're in and realize what you've accomplished and and what's ahead of you. And all you have to do is go to dfy-realestate.com or click the link in the description below. Let us jump on the phone. Let's talk. Let's see how we can assist you to go from where you are to where you want to be. Because this kind of a mindset, this way of thinking, realizing that it's not get rich quick and it's not get rich overnight, but it's utilizing Moneyball Real Estate. It's simple and conservative steps over and over again. It's stacking micro wins in order to get millions. It's having the mindset of gratitude even in the middle of the situation that you're in. If you're not pleased with it, that can change everything for you, and you may need somebody in your life that can motivate you to take those steps. So click the link in the description. Go to dfy-realestate.com. Let's get on a phone call. Let's help you get from where you are to where you're trying to go, because your life will change when you do. We'll see you real soon.